Hi guys, this is Kazar bringing you another audio commentary, and this time I'm commentating on a game between Nalra and Sea.Pure being played on MontyHall. Unfortunately, the more I see games on MontyHall, the more I despise this map. The more my loathing for this map festers and grows like an itch that cannot be scratched. And if I was MontyHall, I would be watching my back very, very carefully wherever I went, because this crazy psychotic dude called Klazart has got a tendency and an inclination to do unwarranted, unpleasant things to maps like MontyHall. And really, MontyHall for me is starting to become very reminiscent of maps like Neoarachnoid. These kind of island-based maps with blocks and chokes that do not allow maneuverability of units. And in my view, they limit the amount of strategy on maps. These kind of maps limit the amount of strategies available to players. At the same time, though, we have seen a lot of cheese in Protoss versus Protoss games, and even Protoss versus other race games on MontyHall, so I wouldn't have been surprised to see cheese here. But the fact that both players have put their pylon down next to their nexus suggests to me that cheese is not going to be the order of the day for this match, and maybe we'll be in for a proper match for a change. Nalra in the red at the top left corner of the map, and Sea.Pure is in the bottom right corner in teal. So it looks like both players playing for a more standard build this time, and Sea.Pure just maneuvering that probe around. Is he going to try and send that out to proxy Nalra? It might be a little bit late to do that now. It doesn't look like he's going to do that. Nalra has set up his gateway, so Nalra playing a little bit defensively, I guess, in anticipation of a possible proxy. MontyHall is one of those maps that scouting is very, very important on, especially more so than any other map. I mean, scouting is very, very important in Pro StarCraft as it is, but it's even more important on MontyHall because it's actually difficult to scout on this map, and that means that players are more likely to go for strategies that hide their tech and go for advanced tech strategies and go for fast expands because they know they have a stronger chance of defending them and not being revealed to the opponent. And that's why scouting is very, very important on this map, so that you can understand what your opponent is doing and be prepared for it. And it looks like Sea.Pure has gone for a fast expand. Sea.Pure has gone for a fast expand before even setting up his gateway. So Sea.Pure taking a bit of a risk there, but it looks like it might very well pay off because Nalra has gone for a gateway first, and Nalra has not yet expanded. Nalra has gone for a fast gas. He's gone for that fast assimilator, and he's going for a fast tech. So it looks like Nalra might be going for the fast Reavers or fast Templar, and that, in my view, is very risky from Nalra because of the fact that Sea has gone for this expansion, and we're going to enter an absolutely critical passage of play here when Nalra's tech materializes. Nalra will need to inflict significant damage on Sea if he is to win the game, because Sea is going to have a tremendous economic advantage otherwise with that fast expansion. So Nalra really is going to need to do something. Nalra needs to scout and needs to find that expansion and realize what Sea is up to. Sea, though, has got a probe inside Nalra's base. Sea has got a probe in Nalra's main, and Sea knows what Nalra is up to. So this spells bad news for Nalra. The fact that Sea has that probe inside Nalra's main means that he has got to know that Nalra is fast teching. He's got to know that he needs to prepare for a Reaver drop or for a Templar drop, and that he has to defend against that. That probe will have seen that Nalra has not fast expanded, so Sea has got to know that if he can hold this expansion, that if he can hold this economic advantage that he's established from that fast expansion, he's going to come out on top in this game, and he's going to have a lead in this game. Nalra finally with the Dragoon is going to kill off that probe, but it's too late because Sea has got all the scouting information he needs in Nalra's base. Nalra has got his own probe in Sea's base, and Nalra is now going to find out that Sea has fast expanded. So Nalra knows it's Sea, and Nalra with the Citadel of Alden, he's definitely going for Templar. I don't see a robotics facility yet, so I'm not sure how he plans on getting those Templar in there. Maybe he's going to wait till a Citadel is complete to start up the robotics facility as well as the Templar archives together. And Sea with a brilliant maneuver here. Sea is building his forge, and that is very intelligent by Sea. He had that probe in Nalra's main, even though he did not see Nalra's advanced tech. He saw the cybernetics core, he saw the early gas, he saw no expansion. He had to be aware that Nalra was going to go for a fast tech drop, and he has anticipated correctly, and he's put up that forge in anticipation of that attack by Nalra, and that suggests to me that Nalra is going to have and Nalra with the Templar archives definitely going for Dark Templar with those archives, and Sea has obviously anticipated what Nalra is going to do, and he has already set up a photon cannon at his expansion. So Nalra's Dark Templar are not going to be very effective in damaging Sea's economy because Sea has anticipated correctly, and you can anticipate that Sea is going to put up some photon cannons in his main as well, which means that Nalra has invested all of these resources in this advanced tech and is going to be all for nothing, and he's going to find himself behind on economic terms compared to Sea, and he's going to have a very difficult time winning this game. Nalra has had a bit of a difficult time so far recently, his form has been questionable. He has lost on a fairly consistent basis to various players, although they have been good games, and he hasn't really played badly in any of them. I do feel that he was fairly uninspired in his matchup against July in the MSL, but losing to July and losing to Boxer has definitely dented Nalra's confidence, and it looks to be apparent in his play here today, because he has gone for more of a defensive strategy with that gateway and with that fast tech on a map like MontyHall. And see, again, very brilliant, dropping that pylon off at Nalra's mineral line just to the right of Nalra's base at the top left corner of the map, and is preventing Nalra's Dragoons from going through, and is buying himself more time in order to set up a defense at his expansion. It's really time that he does not need, because what he has is more than enough to defend against Nalra's forces this early in what Nalra has, but he doesn't know that, and he is trying to account for Nalra's strategy regardless. And Nalra has gone for a double nexus. Nalra has gone for a double expansion in the middle as well as the bottom lanes, as well as the bottom left lane. Nalra has gone for double expansions just south and to the southeast of his base, and that is very risky by Nalra. I guess he realizes that he is behind economically, and that this is what he needs to do in order to catch up. He needs to have a double nexus in order to make up for the economic advantage that Sea.Pure has from that fast expansion. The problem is that Nalra is leaving himself vulnerable because he's invested resources in that double nexus. He might find himself spread thin, especially since C has got that robotics facility up, and C will be able to drop Nalra, and C will probably get observers to be able to scout Nalra and know exactly what Nalra is doing, and Nalra might find it hard to defend all his main as well as those two expansions. And Nalra's Dark Templar just coming down, and C again with possibly almost psychic anticipation of Nalra's maneuver there, positioning those Dragoons and that Zealot just next to that pylon. Maybe he saw Nalra's probe, and C with the robotic support bay is going to have Reavers coming up soon. So C possibly anticipating, possibly seeing Nalra's probe next to that pylon, anticipating Nalra is going to try and sneak something through that middle line, has positioned his units there, and that's going to stop Nalra from doing any damage with that Dark Templar. So really Nalra's strategy of Dark Templar has been completely ineffective. It hasn't done anything to C, and C with an observer as well as a cannon in his main, and that's going to mean that Nalra is not going to do any damage with that Dark Templar to C's economy, and C is going to be able to take advantage of his early expansion versus Nalra. And C is actually mining that mineral line himself. I'm not sure if he knows that Nalra has put an expansion down in the middle, but C looks like he's ready to advance, and he's going to clear a pathway for his units. He's going to probably allow Nalra's Dark Templar in through that pathway should he clear it, but I don't think that's going to bother him. I think he doesn't mind Nalra's Dark Templar getting in his base.